question. I was like, there's got to be somebody who had like a smaller class size, right? Nope.
Quickly, what number were you?
I was the first.
You were
I had the
valedictorian of your school?
Oh, no. I was number
Oh.
2. Sorry.
Oh,
But
shit.
as
So
a story,
I was number 1.
I I actually sorry, I thought we were talking about alphabetical order.
Did you think alphabetical order?
I don't know. I don't know. Okay. All right. Here's no,
Wait,
I'm sorry. Like
wait.
I thought
Your name is Jim.
He was excited about being number 1 in alphabetical order.
Well.
Well. If it isn't my beautiful sister.
If it isn't my beautiful sister. Oh.
Oh,
How are
Well.
you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am super duper. Thank you for asking. And welcome to the Extra Friends podcast, episode 2. We're on a roll.
Episode
We made it for 2
number
weeks in a row.
dos.
Numeral dos. Today's cast we have with us. Who wants to go first?
I'm going first. Fuck you, Maevaald. Sorry, I was very rude. Oh, I spoiled it. I spoiled who else is here. Oh no. I'm
Damn it.
I'm terrible at this already.
Take it back.
All right, nobody listen to me. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
What's up, everybody?
Rewind.
Historo's here. That's right. Yeah, that guy. Yep.
You know him. You love him.
You love him.
Indeed. Bang. You know. It's like that. That's me. I'm here.
Thank
Back
you,
for
Historo.
another Extra Friend podcast.
Hell yeah. And last but definitely not least,
Hello, I am here too. I am
it's
Maevaald.
Maevaald.
Hello, Maevaald.
It's Maevaald. We're so excited to have you guys
It's
here.
B-ball.
No, that's my golf ball.
No,
True.
oh, shit. B-ball is his golf ball. That's different sport. But you know what? Let's do a quick little check-in for a friendly reminder for what that looks and sounds like. It'll be your energy level, so high, medium, low, comfortable, uncomfortable. And so the comfortability too. And and then roses and thorns. Who wants to start us off today?
I'm going
I'll
first. Just kidding. Maevaald's going first. Mr. Vald, please do the honors.
Would
Good
you
sir.
prefer to go first?
No, actually, I changed my mind, and it's your turn. You're going first, since you so politely decided that it would be a wonderful idea for you to go first. Good sir, please do.
I mean, I don't want to take it away from you.
Take it away
Okay.
from him. He doesn't deserve it.
You know
Just
what?
kidding.
You know what? Fine, Maevaald. I will take it. All right, since you so politely insist. All right, let's start off by saying that on a scale of 1 to 10, my energy level is surprisingly pretty high. It could also be attributed to the fact that I had a Mountain Dew at like 11:15, which is not a smart idea, but that's okay. We're here and we're feeling like a damn 9. All right? So,
All right.
pretty damn good. Let's see. Comfortability. I'm feeling fantastic. Let me tell you, it is a fucking amazing feeling to get out of your plate carrier after a long day at work. It just feels
Definitely.
like it's kind of like I guess this is how like women feel when they like take off like their bra after like a long
Oh,
day or some
yeah.
shit is what people is like what some people have described it as. And I'm like, okay, well I'm all here. I'm all for it. You know, that's kind of how I feel right now. So I'd say my comfortability level is also at about a 9 at the moment. So
That's
out
really
of
good.
10.
That's a
And
lot of
then
fun.
oh yeah, roses and thorns. Let's see. Roses. It's my second day on the job and I got a pay raise already. So that's definitely a huge rose. Thorns. My wallet still hurts after 3 days of spending a ton of stuff just to get prepared for this job. So,
Hell yeah.
you have to pay a good bit of money to like get everything you need for the whole security deal. So,
Yes.
that was my wallet still hurts. So there's my thorn, you know. Okay, pay raise is nice, but it always comes with a price. So that's my dually right there.
Your
So
check-in. Thank you for sharing.
you're Mr.
Okay, cool.
Vald.
Yeah, go for it,
Uh,
Maevaald.
Mine is an 8 for energy level, an 8 for comfortability as well. And I wouldn't say I have any roses or thorns today. I've been
Gotta
pretty
get one
uneventful.
rose. You're not
It's
allowed to have no
uneventful.
roses.
Okay, then my rose is that it's uneventful.
Oh,
Hmm?
you told me some good news the other day that we were talking.
Oh, does the other day count?
Yeah, anything from this week, month, year, anything that's at the forefront of your mind.
Okay, it's it. We were able to get our first dose today, or not? It wasn't today. Whenever it was that I said that, we were able to get it.
A couple days ago.
You able
Mm-hmm.
to get what? Oh, your vaccine.
The
Mm-hmm.
COVID-19.
Hey, congratulations.
Covert. For the Bebop
Covered for
16.
covert.
Covert
Co-
ops vaccine
covert.
right
For
there.
Kids Bop
Love that.
19.
I had the beautiful opportunity with my job to be able to get the vaccine super early, so I got mine back in December. And let me just say,
Damn.
for every day I'm blessed for being able to have that opportunity because I was like so nervous about getting sick. And I'm so
Mm.
glad you got to do it too, Maevaald. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It really confused me though because they were saying that that it doesn't actually prevent you from getting it.
They
Not
The
can't
first
within the
one does
first
not.
legally
week.
Yeah,
say
the
that.
first
Yeah.
Yeah,
one
but
does
not
not.
the first one.
No, not the first one. Like they mean just in
Altogether?
general.
Well, I
Yeah,
guess
like
they
altogether, it's
can't legally say that though because it's not a 100% cure to
Yeah,
it.
that's the
Or
reason they say it. It's just because there's not a 100% effectivity rate. So
it's basically like 97% effective.
the person who gave us our dose was saying that that even just altogether, it doesn't like reduce your chances of getting it. What it's supposed to do is like
What?
lower the symptoms, is what they told me. Which
those
is why
damn
I'm confused.
Ohioans, those
Yes.
damn Ohioans don't know what the hell they're talking about, man.
So, I mean, they're not necessarily wrong. That's kind of what the point is. It doesn't prevent you from getting it or even carrying it. However, it does greatly reduce the symptoms, which is in turn helping everybody because the
Yeah.
symptoms is what makes other people sick.
It
Mhm.
doesn't reduce symptoms though. Well, okay.
It
Well,
does.
just to preface this, guys, we none of us are actually
We're not
professionals or
doctors.
know
Except
any
for
about
myself.
this.
I am a doctor in COVID. Just kidding.
Tex is literally Dr. COVID-19. That
Dr. COVID-19. That's my favorite Marvel superhero.
Tex is actually Dr. Fauci. So
I'm also
Yikes.
actual ass at the
Zip.
same.
Same.
We don't actually know. There's so much information out there, but
Mhm.
end of the day, getting vaccine and saving other people is better than not getting vaccinated and not being able. Or I mean, if you don't have access, it's another different thing too. Get vaccinated, man. Um,
Guys, if you're vaccinated, that's pretty hot.
it's
Just letting
pretty
you
It's
know.
sexy.
it's actually the hottest thing, actually. I only associate with vaccinated people. I'm kidding.
like associate.
I don't discriminate if you choose not to be vaccinated,
I
but
will
also
personally
don't touch me.
dissociate.
But
Oh,
also
that's
don't look at me.
I will personally disassociate if you are not vaccinated.
No, real talk on a serious note, Maevaald, that's pretty great news,
That's
dude.
awesome.
Yeah, that's
I'm
great. I'm
very
glad you
happy
were
for
able
you.
to
Did
do
you have
that.
any symptoms? I know it's different for other people, but did you have any like side effects or no? Yeah, side effects is the better term.
I did not.
Yeah, the first one usually doesn't. I sent it to someone, but I saw a very cute little video on like the description of how the vaccine works. And it's not like other vaccines where they inject you with a bit of it. It's like it's basically something that they I guess they use like RNA, like they're changing
Mhm.
basically like your RNA or whatever. Um
It's supposed to be
and
the spike
basically
proteins, right?
something like that. Like I said, we're not professionals. But
We're
it was a
not
really
medical
cute like
professionals at
it
all.
was a really cute like animation of it's like um basically the analogy is like the dosage is like telling your cells or whatever like hey if you see this dude look out and they're like yeah okay and then
Beat his ass.
the second dose is like hey remember this guy what did I tell you to do and they're like oh yeah beat his ass
I think
and
I
then if
remember
it
this
actually
animation.
happens and then if it actually happens your body's prepared to beat his ass.
I feel like this is probably a Kurzgesagt video that you're talking about. Because Kurzgesagt is just the legends at like
I
good animation.
don't remember,
Maybe.
but like, see, that's like the bit of how it works, I suppose.
Right. And again, this is a vaccine that was made in a year. There's not a lot of testing done besides the testing that's happening in real time.
I will not judge you or if you choose not to if you think it's too early. I understand that. But if you're one of those people like spreading propaganda about things that are just absolutely
Like
ridiculous,
that
then
you're like magnetic or something.
and
But I'm
like
like,
sticking quarters to yourself, like
Guys, all I'm
quarters aren't
saying
magnetic.
is like this 5G is feeling real damn good right now, you know?
I'm just saying, I've
right.
never
I've
gotten
never had
better
better connection.
reception.
That 5G do be hitting
honestly,
different, I tell you.
I
honestly,
can
like
watch Bo Burnham's Inside from anywhere now.
my TikTok's been giving me really solid like algorithm feeds, so it's
Yeah,
it's
right.
been really nice. Yeah, no, there's no judgment
The
here.
only the
You
only
do
like side
you.
effect is like there's like a weird beeping sound I hear when I try to go to bed. And it's like very distracting.
Sometimes when I turn on my microwave, sometimes
You
when I
guys do you guys get like that thing where you like occasionally like Bill Gates just appears in the corner of your eye for a second and then
Yeah,
just
I have
he just
no
and then like in
idea
the other corner of your eye
what
like
it
Dr.
is.
Fauci is just like, "Hey," and then he just disappears again. You're like, "Wait, is he communicating with me right now? Like what's going on here?"
sometimes when I use my microwave, my hair stands up on like all of its ends. But other than
Oh,
that, like
okay.
I feel okay. I haven't been able to see out of my eyes for about 6
Yeah.
weeks, but
I think I caught on fire once,
Yeah.
but it was okay.
This random tattoo of like Microsoft just came up on my right arm. I don't know where it came from, but
it's like Microsoft 7. It's like not 10. It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
the
it's
most
like
recent one.
what's going on here? Why do I have Windows 8 on here, you know?
There's
You
some
want
weird
shit OS.
implant that appeared on my wrist.
Yeah, right?
Also, I have a
Interesting.
barcode that's on the back of my neck now.
Oh, Agent 48 over here. Holy shit.
Anytime I
Uh,
enter like a retail store, like all the doors beep constantly. Like I don't know. Everyone
The
thinks I'm
alarms
stealing
go
from
off.
them all the time.
which was normal because I was.
You can't say that. You
Oh,
can't
sorry.
say that.
Sorry.
Oh no.
I take it back. I
Cut
take
it
all of it
out.
back.
Cut it out.
Cut it out. Cut it
Yep.
out.
Yep. That's leaving.
I
That's
take it
not
back.
leaving
Not that
post
I'm brown,
production.
but the fact that I
I'm
said
not
that
wrong.
I'm brown.
It's
Just
not
censor that whole
wrong. It's
sentence.
just
Yeah.
I'm brown
Oh
as
shit.
hell. That's really funny. You guys are hilarious. Back to the check-in. Sorry, we're back. We're back here.
No, that's a good one. I mean, it's a podcast. You ever
It's a
seen one?
podcast. No,
You ever heard of them?
I've never seen a podcast in my life.
What
Good
is
thing
that?
that we decided to do this, having no experience in podcasts before.
Yeah, dude, it's great. So checking in, I'm like I would say energy levels like a 5 or a 6. I worked 10 hours. I'm kind of sleepy, but like I'm happy to be here. My comfortability level, I'm kind of uncomfortable. I have a headache, so I'm a
Oh.
little out there, but it's not the worst place in the world. You know what I mean? Like I've had worse days. My rose is that we're almost done with Mass Effect, the third game. Like we're almost done
Ooh.
with the entire series. We played it. We started playing it a few weeks ago, me and Loche. Um and Loche couldn't make it today because he wasn't feeling the best, but that's okay. But we're nearly done with Mass Effect, and that's been really exciting to play with him again because that was like his favorite game when it
Mm-hmm.
came out, and that was like his first like favorite game as an adult. And now that they released the Legendary Edition, I never played it before, and it's almost like replaying it for the first time for him, while it's also the first time for me because we get to watch each other be excited about it. So that's been a
Oh
lot of
hell yeah.
fun. We've been kind of redoing it with a lot of games. So that's been like the highlight of my entire week has been doing stuff like that. And
Hell
then
yeah.
my thorn, besides my headache, I don't really have a thorn. I feel really good. I'm really happy to be here with you guys.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, I'm having a good time. And then Lumi, how do you feel? We'll
Cut it
out.
out.
We'll
Censor it.
Cut it out!
Cut it out.
I just like the pause.
We all paused. I'm so sorry. It was
I
gonna
don't
happen.
care.
We'll cut it out.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's easy to censor. You can just censor it. Bleep it.
Hang on. If we
Can we actually
bleep
get
it,
a bleep? Can we
we
get a
can
bleep?
Yeah,
we can get a
absolutely.
bleep. It makes it sound like we're like. Can it be the SpongeBob like?
Oh, like the dolphin? Yeah, please.
If you can get
do
if you can
that.
get a clip of that, yeah.
In fact, keep all of this in. We're only gonna bleep out the really shitty parts, the really
Oh,
bad
okay.
things that we said.
Got it. Okay. Very cool. And then Lumi, what about yourself? What's your check-in?
Energy wise, I'm actually pretty up there, even though I'm really tired. I'm pretty up there, so I'm probably at like a 7. I feel like I haven't gotten good sleep, which is weird because I have been, but like not recently. What is my rose? I got to play Counter-Strike with my friends today. That was fun.
Yeah, we got to meet your
Hell
friend's
yeah.
booth thing, and that was kind of cool.
That was pretty cool. I had another rose. Oh, my manager told me that I was good this week. And
That's really
that
nice to hear.
my heart felt it that time. She told me I was legitimately good at my job,
Mm,
and that was
that's what we
fun.
like to hear.
I mean, you
Yeah.
legit are. Your sales are fantastic. You have really great like your statistics are fantastic for your first sales job. So it's very, very impressive.
Wait, did you have a thorn?
Oh no, I didn't. Um, do I have a
You don't
thorn?
you don't have to have one if you don't have one.
This is true.
I feel
This
like
is true.
I feel like I have. Oh, I felt a little down in the dumps. But I think I was just really. I think I've just
Down in
been
the
tired.
bumps.
Oh, I have another rose. Can I share it?
Yeah. Oh, give me
Okay,
all
I
your
got
Mhm.
roses.
I got back into Arc. Maevaald knows. Maevaald knows how you're going at this. And we started playing the map called
Rainbow.
the Rainbow. We started playing the map called the Crystal Isle. And there's a bunch of dragons, or they're called wyverns, and there's crystal wyverns. And the only thing I've been doing in the game has been taming these wyverns because they're passive tames. They eat rocks, and I was taming them, and I got a little bit too excited, and one thing led to another, and I have 16 wyverns now.
Holy shit.
So we're having a great time. Also, I got like every color of the rainbow, so we tasted the rainbow in this beach.
Whoa.
And
Appalachians.
it's a fun time.
That's really
Maevaald is a
cool.
good friend for not cutting me off of getting wyverns. In fact, he helps me get every single one of them.
He helps feed the addiction.
Get you a friend. Never mind.
It's
No,
a hobby.
gosh, don't
It's
get
a
you a friend
hobby.
like that.
Don't
Actually,
get you a friend that
don't
feeds
get
your
you a
addiction.
It's a
friend.
hobby, not an addiction. They're two different
It's a
things.
hobby. Thank you,
Copium.
May.
It's a hobby. Oh, yeah, it's just a hobby, guys. I
I'm
It's
promise.
just
bad
a
at
I
this
hobby.
promise,
game.
guys.
Maybe I should make a hobby out of getting good at this game.
Maybe I should make this a hobby. No, I
Make
can't
that your
push
new
up the
favorite.
I love
stairs.
when people like say shit like they're like, oh, this is just a hobby, and then people are always like there's always like somebody who's gonna make like a joke about like getting some bitches or some shit. It's like maybe you should just get a hobby out of getting some bitches, Lumi. How about that, huh?
Yeah.
It's
Make
like
that your new
I love
favorite.
those sorts of jokes. Like people are just like, I just really like I'm just so addicted to playing Apex Legends, and like somebody's just gonna out of the random just be like, maybe you should get addicted to getting fucking women, dude, touching grass.
Maybe
How
you
about that?
should be addicted to going outside.
Yeah, how about that, dude?
To touching
You s-
grass.
Play Apex all
That's
day.
just
Like,
like it's like so toxic.
I know, right?
It's
Oh
just
man.
so toxic, dude.
But
And I don't
I see
allow
that
that in my life.
all the time. It's crazy. Like it's just like, really, man? Like, okay, but like let them do what they want, you know? Like
I
Hell
think
yeah.
did her mom make that bit? The make that your new favorite?
Yeah, she's been saying that to us
That
all
is
of our lives.
such a good bit. I didn't realize how good that was until I say it now.
But make that your new
I'm just
favorite.
like, well, why don't you shut the fuck up? Why don't you make that your new favorite? It was like so funny.
Okay, there's a lot of things that our mother says
Wise.
that I didn't realize were hilarious. Like absolutely hilarious. Like
Right.
she's
Like
made
out
she's
of
made a
context, it's
whole
so funny.
like she's made a whole sentence out of words that don't exist. An entire sentence. She's like,
In
"Hey,
that go ahead, recite that.
can you do you know where I'm going with this?"
No, I don't. I wanna know.
She'll say like, "Well, y'all, let's go get a sandwich from the Dollar General."
Oh, for the Dollar General. She doesn't speak
Dollar
English.
General. Oh my
She says
god.
she adds unnecessary letters to words that don't have them. Like like the sandwich. She doesn't say sandwich. She says sandwich.
Sandwich.
That is
And she doesn't
beautiful.
call it the Dollar General. She calls it the Dollar Gentral.
Oh my gosh.
She's
I
very
can't
cute.
tell you where these come from. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, we did just visit her family in Kansas, and I'm sure that has some kind of influence. I don't know what
In
kind of influence.
Neodesha.
In
I get it.
Neodesha.
Shout out to any viewers in
In Neodesha. Shout out to the
I gotta
people
be
in
honest with you.
Independence, Kansas.
There's not gonna be a single
Fucking
person from
I gotta
Neodesha
think
watching.
about that. I don't think there's people from Yodashay watching literally anything. People from Yodashay do not have internet. You cannot convince me that they have internet.
or if
Those
they
motherfuckers
do,
have never
it's
heard of like
dial-up.
anything. Yeah, exactly. Those people have never even heard of YouTube before.
Okay,
They
okay.
know
Oh
they
my god.
What
Oh my
AOL?
god, oh my god.
Oh, they know AOL. That's about it.
A shout out to our viewers in
No
Yodashay.
shade,
Is
no
the funniest thing.
shade, but
Throwing
No
some
Shout out to
Yoda
all them
shade.
Yoda shaders out there.
if you tell me you're from Neodesha and you send me a Google images of your house in Neodesha, I will give you $1,000.
I will send you
I don't-
exactly $10 and
You
34
were
cents PayPal.
not from Neodesha. Don't tell me you are. I
Don't
will
send me
not
your house on
believe you.
Zillow. I
Send
will
me your
literally
Zillow.
purchase it.
I was
I
gonna
will
say
literally
it.
purchase your house just to prove you wrong. All right, trust me.
What is
Don't
it?
try
What
me.
is that, a family heirloom? Give me your
Yeah,
house.
give me your entire house.
Don't want to throw
I could-
some Yoda shade. I will never get over
Oh
that.
my god,
It's Neodesha. We're mispronouncing this place.
it's Neo to shade.
It's
Yeah.
Neodesha.
No,
Not
that's not
shade.
real. That's not real.
No,
It's not a real
Mama.
place.
That's
Mama
not
would
even
s-
real.
Hang on, Mama would say in the Yoda shade. So I
That's
think
not
we're
real.
all wrong.
This is a lie. You guys are lying to me right now.
Well, anyways,
This is not a real place.
in Neodesha, they don't wear masks. I'm sure I was the only person in that tiny town wearing a mask.
Well,
they have some
let's
sort of
okay.
relation
let's
to
think
Yoda.
about it
That's
though.
okay.
Let's think about it.
No, that makes sense because there's a population of what 3,000.
It's
So
9,000 in
technically-
Independence altogether. So you like
Oh,
the possibility, if no one's gotten it, the possibility of them getting it is very, very low. You know what I mean? So
True.
like, but so small
Yeah.
towns like that, it's like, okay, I can get it, especially if nobody in your
And no
direct
judgment.
vicinity.
Barely any tourists, I imagine,
also, you
going
just
to.
gotta look out for yourself. Like, I'm
Ye-
not gonna shame people for doing that. Like, whatever. Yeah, look out for number one. But also, I just felt weird because everyone else seemed like, like normal, I guess. And I was like wearing a mask everywhere. But then I don't feel bad because mom came back and she was sick. So, I mean, I don't really feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, who's gonna shame us for wearing a mask? Like,
Right.
also I had like allergies the whole time, and if I did have anything, I didn't want to give it to anybody, so I wore a mask. But
Mm.
that was why I did it. Also, and then Loche is a nurse, so he just wore a mask because I don't know, feels normal. I guess. He wears a mask nonstop.
Oh
Which
yeah.
I gotta say, I think we have to give him credit. Loche, he's not here. But this man's, when I tell you, he is a hero.
He's
Loche,
a fucking hero.
He's a hero. You need to share that.
Can I
A
share the
national
story?
treasure.
Share it.
He is a national treasure. He's just 5'6" of nothing but hunk. And he's all of 5'6". He's such a sweetheart. So a little bit of background of Loche, I'm sure he'll share it at some point. But he was a professional fighter for years, had a really bad brain accident, is what I'll call it. Had to like relearn how to read and write. Like he's been through it, he's done seen it. Still was able to, be a functioning human being. He relearned how to read and write and walk when he was 22. And anyway, this man is a full-time nurse, right? So we're on our plane back from Neodesha. And we're on our plane heading back to Denver, was our first layover. And suddenly somebody on the plane is having like an epileptic seizure. And you hear like over the intercom, like, are there any medical professional on board? And he just had like surgery like 2 days before that before our trip. So he wasn't
Mm.
feeling good, and he was just like, you know, he's like, I'm an
No.
LVN, like I'm not an RN or anything, so like maybe we'll have like real medical professionals help. Well, nobody stood up, and you just see
Mm.
all these people, like all the flight attendants, rush to the front of the plane, and then they were like, "Does anybody have like a heart monitor or like a pulse monitor, something like that?" Like, does anybody have this to, and he was looking at me, and I was like, Loshi, I think you should go. And he was like, I don't, because he, like I said, he just had surgery, and he was gonna have to be on his knees. The surgery was on his thigh, and he was like,
Mm.
I don't think I can do this. And I'm like, okay, well, we don't have to. And then finally, there's like a final call of the intercom, like, is there anybody that can support us? So he gets up, and I think there was like an EMT also on board, but they went and they stabilized the woman. She didn't have any oxygen, and she didn't have her medication to like calm the seizures. And he stabilized her. He like did a makeshift blood pressure test. Like, he was just like whipping out all these cool homeopathic medical equipment basically from nothing, right? We didn't have any of his stuff on us. Um it was insane. So Loche's a hero. Oh, we emergency landed the plane. Um and like everybody like stood and clapped for him like he was a hero. And
Oh.
Aw.
then we walked off together with the EMTs who came on board to retrieve the woman. And when we walked off, they like shook his hand, and then they sent him $100 gift card to Southwest.
Aw.
Like, I'm like, my
Hell yeah.
boyfriend's the hero. What a sweetheart. Just out of the goodness of his heart, he wanted to do something and
He's a
like
good guy.
save that woman. Um, man, I could go on and on about that boy, but
Mm.
he's wonderful. And like, how do people have save people on an airplane?
Yeah, right?
It's so cool.
How often
Thanks
does that
for letting
happen?
me gush about my boyfriend for 2 seconds.
It
He's
is
not
well
Hell
here
yeah.
deserved.
though. It is well deserved. He's a
Oh
hero.
no. Oh.
That was a huge save. Whoa.
Yeah, it was. I didn't even know that was there. Oh.
Talk about the game, not Loche, which is
Uh,
also a huge save. But
Yeah.
that's
Whoa, what a
So-
huge save on his end. You're right, actually. Holy shit, that fit really well. Holy shit. Man, I'm trying to think about, I haven't really been on planes very much in my life. And the thing about it is like it's not that I have a fear of planes or anything, but like, oh my word, let me tell you about my family, okay? My family, and maybe other people's families kind of relate to this too. My family would prefer to drive like 26 effing hours to wherever we have to go rather than take a simple plane. Like I don't really get it, but I mean that's just the way they are, that's just the way it is. I mean, that's what it is. But like, oh my word, And now that, and then I became old enough to be able to drive and stuff, and I got my permit and things like that. And it's just like, all right, well, now you get to help me drive on these long road trips. And I don't
now
know,
you get to
personally,
assist me with
yeah,
supervision.
right. It's like it's not that I have a really a problem with driving and stuff, but like, driving those long hours like that, it's got to be the most boring thing ever. Especially because I really like the view from planes. The view you get from plane rides and stuff is like unmatched. It's so cool.
Mhm.
There's something so surreal about being that high up.
Right.
But I mean,
I
I gotta disagree with you about the road trip thing, because some of the best memories I've ever have been on the weirdest, longest stretches of road, or sometimes the same 2 miles in LA, and you're just
mhm. Yeah, right.
shooting the shit. You know what I mean? And you're just having a
Yeah, and
fucking
I
grandiose
I get
time.
that too, but the problem, like, I guess for me, it's like family road trips, right? Like, I've had road trips with
Okay,
like
okay.
friends
See,
and
but you
stuff.
didn't,
That's
you
crazy
didn't, you
good,
didn't, you didn't
but
specify family. That
yeah, yeah,
changes
yeah.
the whole
Like,
game so much.
family road trips have got to be just the biggest. Like, it's not that I really have a problem with it just becomes a bit of a drag, where it's like, all right, well, I'm just gonna sit
A
here and like
drag.
I don't know. Is it flying, right? Like there are people who fly so often that they're just like, I don't like looking outside the window, and my fucking face is like pressed up to that window, and like my
Same.
nose is
Mine
crushed
is
for
too.
like 4 hours. I'm just in there staring, like, oh my god,
It's
this is
so
so
amazing,
fucking
dude.
cool.
It's
It's like
really
Google
cool.
Maps in real life. I'm like, this is so sick.
It's like when you zoom out too quickly in Zillow. It's like that, but for real.
Yeah, right. I'm like, I just love that sensation. It is very cool. And
Something cathartic about it.
Yeah, something about it, and I don't know. It's just very cool. That's kind of my whole thing with it. So,
For sure, for
um,
sure, for sure.
I don't know, but okay, there was I don't know. I know that's kind of a hard thing for people to empathize with to a certain extent, but like, yeah, I'm definitely with you on like road trips with friends and stuff. Hell yeah. Road trips with family. Hell no. I would rather fly.
Well, you know what? I was gonna say, something that was like super cheesy, but also like how I feel. I think honestly,
Let's
I was
hear the
gonna say
cheese.
it's the people that you go with that I think changes the experience. It's exactly like where you're like, maybe not a family road trip, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, so I hadn't been on a plane, also like in about 11 years before we went to Kansas this time around, and so I didn't know what to expect. I was actually really nervous about it, and we're all really bad at this game. um,
Dude, hang on, hang on, hang on. I want to throw something in there about Kansas. We were talking shit about the vaccine or talking shit about people with the vaccine. Well, we weren't talking shit. We were just shooting our shit with it. The reason why we were in Kansas was because we were having a memorial for a family
oh
member who
no,
died of COVID.
Oh no.
oh
Oh
no, yeah.
yikes. Wow.
So like when we say we don't judge, we don't judge, but also at the same time, we were literally having
That's
to like
literally why we were there.
we were
A
going there for
little judgment.
memorial
A
because
little
our
judgment.
family was dying. Um But the guy who passed away, our I guess second cousin who passed away was actually in California, so he wasn't from Kansas. Wear your masks, damn it,
We also, yeah. Just wear your
Please.
mask, please.
You're
please. Get your vaccine.
And if you don't wear your mask,
Then that's fine, but don't be
that's
mean to us if you
okay.
want to.
Don't be mean.
Don't be mean. Anyway,
Also,
continue your
don't
story
tell
about
me
the.
I am microchipped, please. My anxiety is bad enough. Talk about the people who are like super like they microchipped us, they want to know everything about us. I'm like, they already know everything about us. And if they really wanted to track us, they could do it easily.
I mean, they already do.
Right. But like what I was gonna say about the trip, the plane ride, because I hadn't been on a plane. But I had a lot of fun with Tex and Loche. We had a
That was a
lot of
ton of
fun.
fun. It was a ton of fun. We flew together over there, and then I came back, or Loche and I came back a day early because we had both had to work on
Hmm.
Monday. But going there with you was a lot of fun, and just like
I
shooting
just
our
like
shit in the
traveling with you
plane.
guys. Like just having fun, and not being around you guys like for a short amount of time because we're all busy. Like just being on a designated trip was fun.
Ooh, guys, I have an idea.
What's up?
Mm.
Thoughts on doing the IRL version of this podcast whenever we have
Oh
this Arizona
hell
trip.
yeah.
So
Absolutely.
A
I
blog?
can record it and we'll just like mount my fucking phone camera or some shit on my like on somewhere, and then we'll all just like sit around and do the thing. Do the fucking cast. The caster room.
Doesn't have to even be video. It could literally just be in person, but like
This is true.
all in the
But
same room, just
audio.
recording. Yeah.
I'm very down, and I figure it's gonna fall on a Thursday, so we probably do the podcast the very first day that we're there and get like our initial reactions of being with each other for the first time. I think that'd
Yes.
be a ton of fun.
I'm down for
Hmm.
it.
I'm very down.
Imagine all of us just shoved in my room and talking into my microphone just to
Ah,
have
I
it as
love
the
it.
main setup. I'm like, I'm down.
Oh,
But
actually,
also, my
that sounds like
room
a
is
ton of
teeny
fun.
tiny. It
Well,
sounds
we
like
can
a
go
ton of
to,
fun, though.
but we can do it in my house. I have a whole room dedicated to gaming and stuff. We could
The
definitely come by
setup.
here and do it.
That's
The
true.
setup. I'm so down for it. I like it. I like the idea.
Anywhere works. Um.
Anywhere the
Any
wind blows.
Okay. Oh, another cool idea. I remember. I thought this was really cute. I follow people on Twitter. I won't say who, but there is a time where they did a meetup and they just recorded the audio of them like saying hi to each other just to like kind of like spur people on like their viewers. So it's just like an audio recording because there's no video or anything, and it's just you could hear like you could hear like the guy coming out of his car, and they're like, "Oh, dude, what's up?" And they get excited. And it's like 2 seconds, and that's all it was. And they posted it on Twitter, and I was just like, "Wow, way to tease your
Seems
audience." But
cryptic
also,
as shit.
but also it's like that's so cool. I've been watching so many people that I personally watch like do meetups and stuff, and it's so cool.
That's so
So cool
exciting.
to watch. I'm very excited to see you guys.
And we like unintentionally planned the meetup. Like it's not like we were like, "Oh, let's start a podcast and then do a meetup." Like it
And
wasn't
then
like
do
that.
no.
We had planned
Mhm.
this
We were gonna plan
meetup.
a meetup.
Yeah, because Maevaald just graduated from college. It's gonna be the week after my birthday, and Tori, Thompson's girlfriend, is also graduated from college. So it was just like a bunch of really cool things that we could celebrate all together, and we figured we'd do it out here in Phoenix. And so I rented a house, for the weekend, through a company that rhymes with Smear, Shmee, and Shmee.
What the fuck?
Am I
Shmee and
fucking
Shmee
wrong?
is my favorite lawyer group.
Yeah.
Shmeen.
Shmee and Shmee.
Shmee. Shmee and Shmee is my favorite Johnson and Johnson ripoff. Um,
They're making a covert ops vaccine over there, not a COVID
It's
vaccine.
Shmear, Shmee, and Shmee.
Bear, Shmee, and Shmee, and we're gonna hang out together in a big old house that we got from Air Shmee and Shmee, and
Not sponsored by Shmear, Shmee, and Shmee.
it's not sponsored by S and SSSS.
Okay, so I know this is kind of one of those moments where we're just kind of chilling, talking about whatever, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I am actually curious because I know Tex brought up the topic of high school stories,
Oh,
and
I
I've got
did.
quite a few in my pocket. But that being said, it's been almost 5 years now since I've been out of high school. That be, I mean, I technically Maevaald and I are. It's been 5 years for both of us. So, um,
It's
but
been
I
5 years.
it's
Wait,
been
how old are you?
almost 5 years. I'm 22. I
Okay.
graduated like the I graduated like the day after my birthday. So it was like or
Gotcha.
2 days after my birthday. It was very like, it was like I was 17 through all of my like senior year and
Yeah,
shit.
I
So,
was too. I was the same
um
way.
yeah.
Okay.
So that being said, now I'm like thinking about it and everything. Like I would actually be very curious to hear your guys' stories because I don't know. I mean, it's hard for Mabel to really have any of these, of course. Mr. I was the Zoom Andy before Zoom was a thing over here. But
We didn't have
um
video.
hey, you know what I'm saying, man. So I would actually be very curious to hear what your guys' stories were because I came from a like private school background type of thing, but there was
Of course
still
you
Wow.
plenty of
fucking
really
did. I'm just
interesting
kidding.
shit. No, like trust me, I fucking I get it. But it was actually I'm very curious to hear some of these stories because I got plenty of my own. They're fun as shit. So
As long as we keep them positive, I think it'd be kind of cool to
oh yeah.
share. Positivity. I'm trying to be more positive. I will say, like as a precursor, just so you guys know, I was an asshole in high school.
Oh,
I
same.
was an actual asshole.
Same.
So a lot of my stories are based off of that, and I won't share too many of those because it wasn't the best time of my life, and it also wasn't a time that I look on very fondly, or how I behaved was very something I don't look on very fondly. But I have been kind of deducing a ton of stories recently from high school. High school's been like 10 years for me now. Like my freshman year of high school was 11 years ago. So, it's been a long time since I've been in high school, but one of the things that's brought me back to those stories is so Loche is 6 years older than me. So when he was a senior in high school, I was 12. And which sounds awful. We're
All right.
obviously we're
Guys, just don't think about it
25
too
and
hard,
31
you
now.
know.
Don't think about it too hard. We met when I was 23, so it's not like it's weird. Um
It's not weird.
we met doing boxing. So like it wasn't like a weird like hey high schooler. We met in like our adult lives after long-term relationships. Anyway, not the point. The point that I was trying to get to was that like when I was 12, and I don't know if you guys feel this way at all, when I was 12, movies like the Cinderella story and the Lizzie McGuire movie, like stuff like that
Oh,
was like,
hell
oh
yeah.
man, like to the Cheetah Girls. I mean, the Cheetah Girls
Ooh.
came out when I was like maybe 6 or 7, but the fact was like I wanted to be in high school in that time period, like with that
Oh,
level,
no,
like that
no.
hip hop and those movies. Like I wanted to be Hillary Duff. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so to then meet Loche when he like, well, I mean, not when he was, but and he was like, "Oh yeah, dude, my senior year of high school was 2008." I'm like, "What?" He he got to live through the high school I wanted. And I was like,
Mm.
dude. So I'm like, "Oh, so you like listen to this?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, totally. Like this was my senior year of high school." And I was like, in 7th grade. I'm like, "What that you got to be a teenager through the time that I wanted to be a teen." It's such a cool thing to like re-experience. So we were like listening to like old Drake and like old playlists on Spotify. There's a whole throwback channel in Phoenix that's like playing like
Oh
Destiny's
yeah.
Child and shit, and it's just like a great fucking
Wow.
time. And I'm like, and I can't explain the jealousy that I feel that like Loche got to experience the high school experience that I wanted so bad, and it just makes Loche that much cooler to me in my brain because I'm like, he's like the cool senior boy that I would have had a crush on if we knew each other, but I mean
Mhm.
Mm.
he was in California and I was here. So we didn't know each other. Again, I'm going to be fucking discreet. Like, I'm going to be as clear as possible. We met as adults. Like, it's not weird. He's going to be 31. I'll be 25. So it's not weird.
Just a
Okay.
preface, all of us met when we were adults.
We were all adults when we met.
Legal adults.
All
I
adult.
Mhm.
know, when you met Maevaald, Lumi, you were,
No, I was an adult.
oh, she was an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, I was an adult when I met Maevaald.
Yeah, you were.
Maevaald. I think Maevaald was like just a year older, right? Maevaald,
Hmm?
you were because you're a year older than me, right?
Yep.
Or not really. You're like just a few months older. Yeah.
Well,
So
what? Oh, I
this is
shouldn't ask that.
actually
I shouldn't ask.
no. Do ask. Do ask. Unless it's like something that shouldn't be asked on like a
No.
podcast. Okay, Maevaald's
I
like,
th-
no,
He's
I
like,
refuse
I,
to
no,
ask.
I think
No.
I
I
made
think
a
I'm like a year and a few
mistake.
months older.
Okay, yeah. I think so. I think so. Um, I think that's actually how it is. Yeah. But anyways, like the way that I even met Maevaald was through, and everybody subsequently, I think this is the word for it, is through Thompson, who is not here today. Sad. But yeah, Thompson was my roommate in freshman year of college, and it's
Forget that you guys
basically
live together.
Oh, really?
oh yeah.
I didn't know
Oh yeah.
that.
Now Lumi actually doesn't know this. So the way that I am even involved in this group is because Thompson and I were assigned roommates in college. So we both go to or went to, I should say, Central Florida, and so UCF was just like, let's pair these two together because they both got into this special UCF program where they get to live in this special community that we were both no longer a part of a year later. And so, uh, but Thompson is basically like a brother to me now, and so is Maevaald. And but yeah, that's the entire reason. Like I'm even met everybody is just all through Thompson, all through him, and I wouldn't know anybody if it wasn't for the fact that I got matched into the UCF roommate shit, which is always something interesting that this actually separates. I think unless Tex had roommates in college or whatever, um, like having roommates in college is an absolute experience. So, in both a good way and a bad way, a lot of people have interesting experiences with those and stuff. But on the topic of high school, right? I think
Mhm.
one of the most interesting things with high school for me was the fact that being at like an extremely small school, I still have yet to meet anybody, well, maybe exception of Maevaald, who was at a high school as small as mine. um High school was really interesting. I graduated with 17 people in my class,
Jesus.
Oh
um
my
which
god.
is like the smallest I've ever heard anybody. Like I UCF is such a huge college. I sat there and really questioned. I was like, there's got to be somebody who had like a smaller class size, right? Nope.
Quickly, what number were you?
What?
Out of the
What
17,
number?
what number
What
were you?
rank?
I was the first.
You were
I had the
valedictorian of your school?
oh no. I was number two.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh,
But
shit.
as it found out, actually, here's an
Damn, you were
interesting
so
story.
I was number
I
1.
I actually, sorry, I thought we were talking about alphabetical order. Now here's an interesting story,
Why?
actually.
Why would you think
I don't know. I
Why
don't
would you
know.
think
Okay.
alphabetical
All right.
order?
Here's an interesting story that actually was
Wait. Your
I'm
name is
sorry. Like
your
I thought
sorry.
He's
okay,
excited about being
I was like,
number 1
yeah,
alphabetical
I was the even with my fucking last name not being really like that far ahead. I was yeah. Anyways, here's something interesting that got revealed to me. And I don't really like, again, I keep this pretty like, my identity pretty private here, but as it turns out, the valedictorian was the uh child, we'll just keep the gender private, of two of the faculty there. So both of their parents worked at the school. And as it turns out, it was found out later that they mess with their GPA
Bless you.
to
Damn.
make yeah, whatever, right? To make them the valedictorian when in reality, I found out years later that I was supposed to be valedictorian. And
The
They
drama.
moved their GPA by like point 0.1 above 0.01 above me or something like that to just
Wow.
to just move me out into salutatorian. And I was like, "Huh, okay." They didn't mess with my GPA in any way, which was nice, but they modified theirs to you know. So, I mean, I don't really hold anything against it because I still got into the college that I wanted to get into and stuff.
Right.
But if that actually would have shafted me in the future, I would be really pissed
Ooh.
about
You ever
that.
get
So,
I
shafted?
feel like that
Tex, you know what? Yes, like I said, metaphorically, technically, I did. I get shafted out the title in which I could have been first. So, you know what? This very conversation would not be happening right now if
Wait,
I
so
didn't get
technically,
shafted.
so you were number 1 then.
Yeah,
He
I
was
was.
number 1.
But I
Nice
don't
job.
really give a shit, honestly. Like the college was so
Okay.
small, or not college, the high school was so small that like the competition was not fierce by any means. And so at that point, I'm just kind of like, you know what? Who really cares? Like, I still got this cool little like tassel and shit, like, pretty cool. Um, but
It's a
high school,
hassle.
yeah, I know,
I
right?
heard
A whole,
castle. I was like, you
oh,
got
you
a
heard a
I
castle?
heard
castle, dude.
hassle.
Yeah, I got a hassle. Yeah, but
Lumi is a hassle. Let me tell
it's
you.
it's high school was high school was really interesting too, like, especially senior year, I got to be the senior class president and shit like that, which was nice. Which also came with a lot of, like, unnecessary responsibility, in my opinion. I was just like, I didn't really need this sort of thing. I didn't really ask for it. They were just like, "Hey, you're senior class president." And I'm like, okay." Um, which just came with a lot of, like, planning stuff. It was like, "Hey, you gotta plan the location for prom," and I'm like, "What?"
Oh.
They're like, "Yeah, here's the budget," and it's like the budget's like a absolute trash amount of money. I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll
The
make do
budget's
with this."
like $30 in a Slim Jim. Like,
Yeah,
have at
basically,
it.
I mean, they were like, "Go find us a like help insert like,
No pun intended. A Slim
help
Jim, but
the
no.
class president." Yeah, nice one. Good one. Good one. Haha. Yep. Um
Haha, funny.
but it was kind of like, I don't know. I got to really like experience, working in like a very interesting, like almost like a teacher-ish setting. Like they were like, "Here's this is and this you got to do," and all this fucking fun jazzy shit. And um, being a class president was just, I don't know, it was very interesting. The people like it was like a lot of the students just kind of relied on you to have like a really nice like senior year, and I that was the one to make sure that that happened.
Sounds
Which
like traumatic.
A
it
little
wasn't that
bit.
bad, honestly.
That seems like more of a position where the teachers like usually put a student in just
Yeah.
so that they don't get blamed for
Right,
anything.
right. And luckily like nothing went too wrong to the point where it was like, "Oh yeah, like this is all on Historo's fault," like whatever. But um luckily I didn't have to deal with any of that sort of bullshit because you know. Um, but there was a lot of things that like I had to do. Like in my school, I know this didn't happen with the rest of my hometown. When you're a senior, even if you have all the credits you need to graduate high school, you still have to stay the entire day. My school didn't have that. That being said, with me being like class president, they really expected me to like stay for a lot longer than I needed to. Like I had my own car and stuff. I could have just went in for my last two classes and just left at like 10 a.m. Like I could have done that, and I ended up staying a lot longer as a result of, you know, having to do like real stupid executive shit and stuff like that. And um, but I mean, it was very like interesting. You know, it kind of felt like a whole like I felt like a fucking manager. You know, it's like oh god, crazy. Um, but high school was very interesting, but nothing compares high school to like your freshman year of college. Wow,
What
what
a
an
difference that
interesting.
is. What a
I
difference.
know. And it's always ironic that like high school always tries to tell you that yeah, we're training you for college, and then like you go to
Mhm.
college, you're just like you have unless you like live at home, which I know a lot of people do live at home for like college and stuff. And I always respect that sort of thing. But for me, it was like I go to college and suddenly I am thrown into a world of no responsibility because I moved. I got to live in a dorm and stuff. And, you know, luckily Thompson and I had pretty similar, we had all similar classes, which was completely unintentional, by the way. Like this happened on complete accident. When Thompson started college, he was computer science, I was mechanical engineering, but we still had a lot of overlap. So we would, you know, go to the only like we were able to hold each other accountable, which is something really nice that a lot of people didn't experience. A lot of people fucking hate their roommates. Like this is me just getting really like honest about it. At UCF, like I was very lucky because most of the people I talked to hated the shit out of their roommates and their suite mates. Because what we would do is in at UCF, most of the places for dorms are set up so you have a you have one person or you have one person you live with in your room with you, and then you
Mm.
have two people that you like share a bathroom with, so the whole place is like four people, one bathroom,
Yeah.
which is just not an optimal setup, especially with dudes like oh my. But I was very lucky that I liked my suite mates and I love Thompson. And he is a blast to live with, albeit I have so many videos of Thompson and I just doing the most obnoxious shenanigan shit, like us like listening to Minecraft parodies from 2012 and blasting them in our room and shit like that. Like he doesn't even play Minecraft, and we would sit there and jam out to like Revenge by Captain Sparkles, you know?
Hell yeah.
Stuff like that is just like really good memories. Stuff like that. So really, really fun. Um Tex, did you have any interesting college experiences?
Um,
You
you
weren't an
know,
asshole in college, were you?
I no, 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 no. My assholiness that happened in high school came from a lot of internalized misogyny, a lot of trauma.
Mm.
Ooh,
It came
same.
Whoa.
from a lot of I mean, I was also I
Misogyny?
was oh
Whoa.
dude, I
Mhm.
was
Like,
the
were you like
biggest
pick me?
yeah, I
Were
was
you like
like
pick
pick
me?
me. Yeah, dude, have you
Whoa.
seen my haircut? Of course I was pick me. Um
Okay. Interesting take.
no,
I like that.
it was one of those things where that's just the environment. I mean, that's the environment all of us grow up in, honestly, because we live in the patriarchy. But I was
Mhm.
very much like, ugh, I'm not like other girls because I play games. And it's like, okay, no, you're just an asshole. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not. Anyway, so in
You're
high
not different. You're
school,
just a gamer. Like,
I didn't pick the best of friends, and I was also in the drama club, so that added to a big portion of that. And then, I just wasn't I wasn't confident or comfortable with myself, so I made that everybody else's problem, which
ah.
it shouldn't have been. That's a lot of people's high school's experience. So that was whatever. But once I hit college, I really fell in love with as cheesy as it sounds. I really fell in love with my education. And that's really what kept me alive, and it kept me wanting to learn more, and it really changed my worldview. So instead of being so angry,
Mm.
I realized I was really just sad and I needed help. And I got the
Ah.
help, and it was actually like a really good growth period for me. And I stayed with my high school sweetheart all the way through college. So I didn't
Mhm.
really have like any crazy party experiences because I was like, I'm already in a committed relationship. And I was like, I don't need a party. And I was just I was very, very involved in my studies. I was taking like 22 credit hours a semester and having a
Jesus Christ.
full-blown internship, and I worked 2 jobs, both with DDD of Arizona, the Department of Division, sorry, of Developmental Disabilities. So I was really motivated to be done. I wasn't allowed to live outside the house though. My older
Mm-hmm.
brother had that opportunity and he didn't really make the best choices when he got to live on his own. So when it came my turn to leave, they were like, absolutely not. You can't leave. Because I was a shit kid and a shit teenager. So they're like, if I left and my brother had a hard time, I was gonna have a massively hard time. So that was the philosophy, right? So I was stuck being at home. So I kept myself as busy as possible so that I was always gone. So that it felt like I had like I'm an adult and I'm not home anymore, but I totally was home. I go home to sleep and then wake up to go to work the next day at 4 in the morning. So
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like so my high school or my college was just pretty docile in that sense. Like I didn't really party, I didn't really do much. Like I said, I had a long-term relationship at that time. It wasn't Loche, unfortunately.
Mm.
Learned a lot of lessons from that relationship. But yeah, I mean, I also was a mentor for a couple years in public speaking, and that was a ton of fun.
Mm.
I did a lot of research with neuropathology, which I really appreciated. I don't think I have like any standalone stories. I just remember being fucking tired.
Yeah.
I was
Oh yeah.
exhausted, dude. But I loved it. I really found myself. When people say you find yourself in college, I really did. Um,
Yeah.
I'm kind of doing my crazy partying time now that I'm out of college and double income, no children.
Oh
Having
yeah.
a fun
That's
time with
banger.
that.
That's got to be so much fun. And I'll probably be in a similar situation too, where like I'm not. I will say I was not like that. I wasn't working 20. I wasn't doing like 22 credit hours stuff like that. But um, with like Thompson and I living together and stuff, Thompson and I were kind of in similar situations at the beginning where we were just very like, we're not really like party people, and the college experience is just about like, we preferred gaming. And of course, you know that too, because that's when like Tex and I and Maevaald and I met each other. I didn't meet Lumi for a while, actually, like real
Mhm.
talk. It was a while before like Lumi and I got introduced. But um, Maevaald and Tex, Thompson and I, just like not necessarily together all the time, but we would play a lot of like PUBG back then because PUBG was the shit back then. When I was freshman year, PUBG had just dropped, and but battle royales were becoming big, and so I found like a nice um like college like student, but like also gaming balance, which was really nice. However, but what I will say is like I still to this day am not really in the party shit. And, I've been to, clubs and stuff. I didn't go to my first club until like I had like some free time during my sophomore year. Um, and it really just wasn't the shit that I was into, you know? I'm a pretty much like a pretty just chill inside and talk with game with friends type of thing. Like we're doing right now. What a concept, right? Um, but it's something about the college experience, especially for me. I don't think I would have like done as well and had as much fun as I did without Thompson and Maevaald. Um, and Tex as well, especially
Oh.
because like so much fun through like the games that we were playing and stuff. Like I would not have had that sort of fun without like Maevaald and Thompson and stuff. Like I know Maevaald and I and Thompson. What was the first game we played, Maevaald? Was it GTA? I think it was actually GTA. And
Was
we
it
weren't even in
actually?
college. Yeah, we weren't in college yet. It was like the summer, but before college. This is how Maevaald Thompson and I played our first game together. I remember this very well. Um, Thompson and I got each other's numbers really early on because we're like, okay, we're living together and stuff. So Thompson, Maevaald, and I, we played GTA for the first time. Thompson and I exchanged numbers, and we're like, "Dude, do you like to game?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I do PC gaming." He's like, "Dude, no way, I have so do I, man. I play with this guy Maevaald all the time." And I'm like, "Dude, what a stupid name, right?" But no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I did
Stupid
not say that.
name.
I'm like,
Damn.
"Okay, cool. This is awesome. Like, I'm like, okay, cool. So we're gonna all like play this game together, right? We're gonna all play a game together, GTA, right? And so like that was the first time I got to like actually like not only was it the first time I got to play with an actual group of people, it was my dad had just upgraded our internet to be like actually like capable of doing online gaming. I shit you not, for the entirety of my high school life up till like middle of senior year, we had, I'm not kidding when I say this, 1.5 megabyte up, 1.5 megabyte down internet.
Wow.
I couldn't even fucking watch YouTube on that internet. I had to watch YouTube
Wow.
or like if I had 480p internet or like 480p video, I had to sit there and let it load for like a minute straight. Like it was absolutely insane. Like I just um so the first time I actually got to play any online games with anybody in years was like that was my own and not just like a friend's house or something, was playing GTA 5 with Maevaald and Thompson. Like otherwise I just always play GTA by myself. Um that's actually really nice. It's like my introduction to like playing games with friends and stuff like that. I was just always playing single player games. Always played just like a fuckload of Skyrim all the time by myself,
Oh yeah.
which I still do to this day occasionally. I don't have a problem with that. Skyrim and Minecraft. That was like always the games I played. So, and I wish I mean, it's all comes down to the fact that my internet was just so terrible. Um, just kind of wish that I was able to like do that sooner, but I ain't complaining. I ain't complaining about the fact that like the friends I have now, hell yeah.
I was
So,
gonna say, I'm like, I don't like. I remember meeting you in college, but I didn't realize I made that big of an impact on you. That's very sweet.
oh yeah, yeah, like it was yeah, I really like you guys being like my first friend group, and then there I also met people like Jammin, who maybe he'll be on the podcast one day, but I'm actually living with him in the like a few weeks, just moving and living with him and stuff like that.
Really?
And
That's cool.
yeah, I don't think I've announced that. Like I'm moving. Maeval knows that. I'm moving
That's
with
cool.
I Lumi has maybe met Jammin, but Tex knows Jammin.
Yeah, I
And
played Apex with Jammin.
yep. And
Who's
him and I
jamming
are
them?
gonna yeah, who's jamming? Says Maeval. Um,
You have a roommate?
yeah, right. Crazy, right? But yeah, I've been living at this current place for 3 years, and we're starting to have conflicts of interest with this place, so I'm moving. Um, can't really do security at a place that doesn't really allow you to own firearms. Like that can be a bit of an issue. Um, so having conflicts of interest, so I'm moving.
Mm.
It's very exciting. Um, But I
That
like
is
that.
very
Like I like
exciting.
yeah, freshman year of college has been such an interesting time and everything. And I know um, you know, living on my own and stuff, and Tex will know this too. Such a weird experience, like first year living out by yourself, huh? What was that like, for
Mm,
you?
that's weird. I didn't have a very traditional living outside of my home for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Not to get into too many gritty details, but the very first time I moved was right towards the end of my. I only went to college for 3 years because I finished very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Doing 22 credit hours a semester, you get done really fast.
Yeah, holy shit.
Um, so I finished in 3 years instead of four. And right towards the end of my last year in college, I got invited to live with my brother and his wife at the time.
Mm.
And but very quickly after I moved in, we had to immediately move out. So so I moved in, was there for 2 months, and then we
Oh
had to
wow.
leave.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
so that was like I never really had a sense of security there. So, but I thought it was like, oh, this is a great opportunity to live with my boyfriend at the time, which was not Loche. So I lived with my ex-boyfriend for a while, and then suddenly out of nowhere, my brother moved out. So then we couldn't afford that apartment either. So then we had to move again. So my first year living on my own, I moved 3 times. Um,
Wow.
and then that's when I got my full-time job, was able to afford a really nice apartment. And then that's when me and my ex split. So I moved like 4 times in
Holy
like
shit.
2 years. And that's when I moved to the studio apartment in Phoenix. And then I moved back home. right after that. So I never really had like a this is me living on my own, I guess until now when I bought my house. So I recently bought
Mm-hmm.
a house in January, um, which took me forever to save up for. But I moved back
So worth it.
home. I lived with Lumi for about what was it, a year? A year and a half?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
like
lived at
18
home
months.
like 18 months. Yeah, we lived together for about 18 months and then me and Loche bought a house together. And this is my first like true time living without family, without siblings. Like it's just me and my significant other. And this time when I asked my boyfriend to move out with me, he was like, "Where do I sign? Like, what do we do?"
Yeah, right.
Like real excited. So a very different
Hell yeah.
experience. But yeah, my first few times moving out, it was very much like I didn't feel like I got a chance to enjoy it because it was just a lot of stress that I didn't know I was gonna have. And like my parents warned me about the other stressors, like the money tightness and stuff like that, which I expected, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what I planned for. And that's the shit too, is that these things I always plan for. So when shit like that falls through, it drives me like up the wall. Because like I planned for it, like I did my due diligence, and it still ended up being shitty. Life does that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, but yeah. So this is like my first time living on my own, and so I'm kind of getting those first year of college feels again
Hell yeah.
for the first time because I never really never really did that right. Oh, I guess there's no way to do it right, but
Yeah, there's no cookie cutter way. I mean, even like some people would think that the cookie cutter some people would think that the cookie cutter way of like roommate living and stuff, especially if you don't know the person you're living with, it almost always, at least at UCF, like this is how it is at Central Florida, is like some people just seem to have such terrible experiences with it. Like I can't tell you how many times I've heard I fucking hated my roommate,
well,
whatever.
yeah.
Like it's like I get that. Like UCF's pairing system, I'm glad that I had the experience I did because I've heard it's such a terrible pairing system. They try to match you up with similar interests, like they make you fill out a questionnaire of similar interest, and then they try to pair you with somebody with similar interests, and it goes horribly wrong. And I'm like, how I'm like, I don't really understand how it messes up that badly, but hey, like who am I to say like the algorithm or whatever they do is just terrible. Um,
I mean, but
I'm
you met
lucky,
Thompson.
I mean, I'm very glad that the system did not fuck it up for me. Hey,
Hey,
Maevaald, come to Florida, dude. Let's go.
nothing,
Let's do
nothing,
this.
nothing bad about the experiences I had with moving. Like, I mean, the people I lived
Right.
with could have behaved better, or I could have been better and planned out
Mm-hmm.
better stuff. Like, um, obviously, it's not all. It's obviously it's not like all bad, and I learned a lot of lessons about like money management and apartment complexes and how to sign leases and
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
you learn a ton while doing all
Oh
that fun stuff.
man,
But
you sure do.
this is like my first time actually having that experience of like this is my roommate, except for it's a house and my roommate is
Yeah,
the love
right?
of my life. It's like kind of the best like thing that you do. And
There you
I'm
go.
sure you guys will get that at some point. But what are your guys' college experiences been so far? I know Maevaald just graduated from college, but what was it like for you guys? We've kind of taken the seat for a hot second.
Yeah, too much, too much. Let's hear it.
What?
Woo! Yeah. Hell yeah. Great experiences, guys. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I remember Mabel was telling me some interesting stories about your college experience, huh?
To be honest, I don't really remember too much of it. I never really talked to anyone. I was that person who always just
Woo!
did the work and just left. Oh,
See,
I was
that's
part
an that's
of
always a good thing.
I was part of an honor society though.
Oh
Oh,
I'd
hell
yeah.
help
yeah.
with that
Smart man.
during one of their events. For some reason, hey, let's have the person who's in a computer program do the designing of this poster.
Yeah, dude. They see tech and then they see like, oh, here's our online like program. You must be a legend at graphic design, right?
I'm
Hell
not an
yeah.
artist. I'm a developer.
Yeah, Mabel, you're an NFT artist, dude. That's what they think. Totally. How about you, Lumi? I'm actually curious to see how that's going.
About my college experience?
Yeah.
It's okay. So I I don't think I disclosed it in the last videos, but I did say I'm a college student. I actually did recently graduate from high school. I guess it wasn't recently, it was a year ago, but I graduated during the great, fantastic time of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Mm,
So I didn't get to graduate. I didn't have prom, even though I bought my prom dress the week before um quarantine, so that was kind of cool. I didn't have prom, didn't graduate, and then I also couldn't go to college in person. So I've had a weird experience. I just finished my first year of college and it was all online from home. And I
mm,
mean, I don't mean to sound like down in the dumps, but it was not what I expected to be of like my coming of age moment, Like
true.
I was very excited for it. Also, my major is like very hard to do,
Online.
not being in person. Yeah, online. Basically, I'm very much into acting and all things entertainment, and I had to do like acting classes and stuff online, and it was just very weird. Like, I just imagine how awkward it is, like acting on Zoom. It's not the best
Right.
thing. Not very fun. Um, I just didn't get to have the experience that I thought I was gonna have. And so that's okay. Because I had to do what was best for the time. And I'm gonna go back to back to doing in-person school um this coming up semester. So I'm very excited
Hell
about
yeah.
that. Um, but yeah, so I lived at home. I think the sad thing is that all of my friends that I went to school with all moved away. So like I
Mm,
don't have many people over here now. I don't have any friends, and because of quarantine, like I haven't gotten to meet people or like leave my house. I had a job, but I was laid off from my job due to the pandemic. So and then I started working with my parents. And so it was just a interesting time. It was a lot of time for, I guess, personal growth, which I did get to do. So that's pretty fun. So I guess the
love
positive
that.
stuff is I got to focus on myself. Um, the time that I did get to be with my friends, I valued it a lot because, um, I mean, I'm gonna be truthful about it. If anyone comes to know who I am or used to know me, I was also not the best person in high school. I was pretty sucky, but that also had to do with a lot of my own like personal myself in image and my worth, and I had a lot of anxiety, and I was bullied a lot, and I just had a lot of, confidence, I guess, issues in high school, and it made me not the nicest person. It made me very arrogant because I was too worried that people were, you know, uh, gonna be mean to me if I was too submissive. So I was very arrogant. I always talked like I knew everything, and I didn't have many friends. Um, so, uh, but um, I'm getting better. I'm working on myself a lot. I think quarantine was a great time to just do a lot of like introspection and lots of self reflection about what it is that I want to be and the type of person I want to be. And I'm
Mm,
working on my anxiety. And I think I've mentioned it before, but I'm now medicated.
Hell yeah.
there
So
you go.
I started like a month ago, and I could easily say this has been the best month of like my life in a long time. Like I'm not anxious anymore. I was getting like I'm not like self-diagnosing, but I it was getting really hard to do things in like daily life. Like it was getting pretty bad. Like I couldn't even like
Mhm.
leave my house at some point.
The term is maladaptive.
Right. Um and so I got medicated for it, and I've been on it for a month, and I also got a new job, which I
Hell
already mentioned
yeah.
is going really well.
Yup.
Um and I finished a summer class, and things are just going really well.
Hell yeah.
I've never been more excited to be alive.
That's what we like to hear.
It's a good
Now,
time.
now here's something interesting, okay? Because as somebody who kind of like um I feel like I hate being the guy who sounds like I'm the one interviewing when like I'm not the host by any means. But I'm actually just
No,
curious
I
about
love
this
it.
because as somebody who like I kind of had some issues in high school, on a serious note, like I had some issues on in high school where um I kind of I didn't necessarily go through any like sort of I had some insecurities and things like that, and I had um some issues and stuff, but the way that it sounds like a lot of people project their issues and kind of handle those sorts of things in different ways. Like it sounds like the way that you handled it wasn't obviously the best by any means, and I didn't handle my issues well either. I would like to see if there's anybody who's ever watching, right, who is going through those similar issues, and might be like looking for ways to like sort of get through those sorts of things. What would you say actually helped you the most in that sort of thing? Like what
Mm.
because I it kind of seemed like it took until after college or not college, high school to maybe like kind of maybe start what's the word for it? Like work through those issues, you know? What would
Mhm.
you say is like your what was one of your best ways of like getting through that sort of thing to maybe help somebody out in the future who might be listening to this, who might be going through similar?
That's a really great question. I think if I might go first, Lumi, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Um I want to say, like, to start off, I feel like a lot of people have that similar high school experience like you were saying. Like I think it's a very common thing to when you're young, you don't have the words to express some of those really big emotions, and then they kind of come out to people that you don't necessarily want them to, and sometimes it's not
Mhm.
the most progressive way to come out about things. And it's not very healthy or productive, I guess, to work that way. um, the biggest thing for me, and I'll be like fucking real, was education. I think
Mhm.
I chose psychology on a whim when I went to college, because I liked it. I always saw myself like as like a counselor type or somebody who wanted to help people, but I didn't know how. And then when I started doing work with the Division of Developmental Disabilities, and I had all these kids with autism, I was like, oh well, maybe I could be like a autism specialist or something like that. So I chose psychology as a bit, and then as I was going through my classes and you're reading through all these books, and you're like, oh, that's me, that's me, that's me. Like you start to kind of like reflect and go, oh, a lot of these behaviors that I'm seeing, not necessarily with autistic people, which I think there's a little part of that too. But like when you see like depression, anxiety, anger, behavior, when you're looking at stuff like that, it kind of enlightened me to like, oh, so one, the things that I'm feeling are not new to like they're not new to the world. We've seen these feelings
Mhm.
before. And two, it's like I realize that I'm hurting people. And I think right around the time when I started college, I was like, I'm tired of hurting people. I've done enough hurting in my life. I've fulfilled my quota of hurt, and I don't want to do that anymore. And so I think partially it was education, but partially it was that self reflection of like, I want to do better. I want to be better. And so it's a lot of active work and just recognizing that you're not alone in those feelings. I think is also a really big part of getting
Mhm.
over getting over those humps of like I don't know how to stop the toxic behavior, but at the same time, I don't know how else to get my needs met. So I'm just gonna keep
Mhm.
doing the
Mhm.
toxic behavior. It's a cycle. It's a cycle that we have to fix. That's kind of that was my response. Lumi, what were you gonna say? You
Sure.
have an answer.
Very similar to just be educated, or not just that, but also I think when I started college, and because of like this sounds really dumb, but like because of quarantine, I started watching, or I started being more involved in social media. Not that I was personally involved, but um I was
Consuming a lot more.
watching, I was consuming a lot more, obviously. I think many people did. Consuming a lot more, finding new people to watch and stuff, and I think a lot of it for me was literally just listening to other people's experiences. I think, and I could say this because it was me, I think my head was so far up my own ass in high school, and I was so arrogant but I didn't stop to listen or care about how other people felt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I was so worried about my feelings and my feelings getting hurt that that I didn't realize the other things that people were going through. I thought people who had legitimate like they're struggling with some mental issues and stuff like that, stuff that I was dealing with. I didn't listen to them, and I kind of sometimes thought people were overreacting, and I was
Mm-hmm.
being that kid because I didn't understand their situation. And like
Right.
I think due to like social media and TikTok or watching people that I actually cared about and stuff, not that I didn't care about people in high school, but people that I thought I had a connection to talk about reasons, hear people, hear things that they're dealing with, this is how it affects them, and this is how it inevitably affects everyone. That is such like an eye opener for me as a person. And
Hmm.
I mean, similar to what Tex is talking about, I was very misogynistic in high school. I was the type of person to be like, oh, like girls are wearing too short of shorts, they're slutty and shit. And I'm like, I thought that way in high school. I was so much of like I was a pick me girl. Just because I was like self-conscious about my own body or my own image and stuff, like I would shame other girls who were obviously I thought objectively prettier than me,
Mm-hmm.
and I would slut shame people. And not like I wouldn't go out of my way to do it, but to myself I'm like, "Oh, I would never do that." Or like to other people I would just treat them differently because of it. I was doing exactly what I didn't want people to do to me. And being on social media and hearing all these things that happen to women or things that happen to certain groups of people, I just realized how much like that stuff is real things and other people have real feelings and nothing is so
Mm-hmm.
black and white. And so that's why I'm like, be educated with things that are going on and don't be so narrow-minded like I was in high school because
Yeah, I'm totally on board
because
with you.
after all, I was not the most popular person. I was not the most liked person. I didn't have the most friends. Nothing about the way that I treated other people made me superior in any other way. In fact,
Right.
it probably lessened my experience in high school than augmenting it. So,
Right. I definitely see like, there's definitely a lot of like closed-mindedness that happens in high school a lot too. And coming from like a Christian school, um it wasn't a super conservative Christian school. Let me just be very clear about that.
mhm,
Where the school was very accepting of people for who they were and who they are and what they, who they liked and um just their general identities, right? And
mhm,
that was really nice to sort of experience. That being said, there still was plenty of, that sort of shit going on. And it's very important that, yeah, I think closed-mindedness is a really big reason that people tend to be assholes,
mhm,
for lack of a better term, is just because they don't really understand the reality of situations and the reality
mhm.
of what's going on in the fucking world, and like that. And just being a generally insensitive person, there's
Right.
really not a place for that anymore in this world. Um, so I definitely respect that sort of like perspective. Is just like, yo, just fucking get educated, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
realize that, you kind of have to self-reflect, I think is what really helped. Is like a word that I used to tell people, um, is like really self-reflecting. Look back on yourself, look back on the words that you've said to people, look back on what you said to people and realize like, maybe that's not the sort of maybe you wonder why people don't fucking like you, or maybe you wonder
Mhm.
why, you know, why do you think you are the way that you are? Now, I have dealt with some people in life that really genuinely cannot be like helped, right? Like they are just so their head
Yeah.
is seemingly so far up their ass that it is just like that can just be a really unfortunate, maybe it's just an unfortunate way of looking at someone, or realizing that they are kind of, you know, without, there's really there's I don't know, it's really a hard way to like sometimes fix people, but or to like not fix people, but for them to realize their own um faults.
Mhm.
And I think that it's I think what you guys have said is just really great. It's like getting educated and like understanding the perspectives of other people and who you are hurting is very, very important. And this doesn't even have to go into just like this doesn't have to go into any sort of like social issue. It's just you being a general like asshole, whether it be, you're just insulting someone's appearance. It doesn't even have to be in a gendered or race-based way. If you just, like I can't it's more just comes down to like insecurities and stuff. Like realize, who you are, who you're hurting and what sort of like reasonings do you have for hurting, stuff like that. Because of course, like as much as I would love to say it's getting better, I really don't have any sort of backing to say, hey, bullying in high school is getting better. Like is it? I don't know.
Mhm.
I haven't been in high school for 5 fucking years, but
Right.
I do see still a lot of toxicity on the internet that comes from and comes from high schoolers and people of that age. I'm like, man, I guess it's still happening. I don't know.
So, okay, so I want to make like one like final defense for that level of thinking and everything like that.
Hmm.
My final defense for that level of thinking and for those types of people who do think that way in general is one, high school is the time to be self-conscious and to feel those
Oh
feelings
yeah.
and to experience those experiences. I don't think it's anyone's fault, or it's not society's fault or something like that, that
Yeah,
people think
exactly.
this way. we,
Right.
we think that way because when we're teenagers, especially from 12 to 16, there's so much development that's happening with our person and our self-esteem. We become conscious to the world, like we realize the world is so much bigger than us, and
Hmm.
that is the time to
Whoa.
be insecure, and it's a time to learn about yourself. So there's gonna be mistakes that we make because we're making those changes. We're really starting to understand our impact, right? So
Right.
for high schoolers who may or may not be listening to this right now, who feel like those little fires in their bellies, and they want to say these awful things and they don't actually truly mean it, because everybody is naturally good, like their baseline is good, it's just we don't know what we're experiencing. These feelings are too big. This is the time to feel those feelings,
Yep.
so that's one thing. But another thing I want to say is, I know you said you don't really have like any like statistical basis to whether or not people are doing better, but I really have a ton of faith in this next gen, the Gen Zs, the
Mm-hmm.
Zoomers. I think there's something about them that is so intuitive. Like they really think things through and they really do their research. They take their time to be critical. And that's such a cool thing to see as a trend for the younger generation, because we've always come from like, oh, the younger generation does this and this and that. This new generation's going to outshine all of us because they just have so much more access and so much more
Hmm.
time to do that research, and they've also experienced a ton, like we've gone through a whole pandemic. Lumi is didn't get to graduate from high school because of a pandemic that none of us had control over. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
true.
So like there's something about the Gen Zs that's really powerful that I think is going to make waves in the next decades or so, because they're marked with such integrity that I don't think I've seen before. That they're willing to hold themselves accountable because everything is on view all the time for everybody to experience all the time. Um, so this is the time to be insecure. This is the time to learn your feelings, and it's also the time to educate yourself. Like to wrap it all up in one point. If anybody's
Right.
going to do it and do it effectively and lower the rates of bullying while also being super critical, while also being super self-conscious, it's going to be the Gen Zers, because
Hmm.
there's something so integral about them. There's something so powerful about their ability to be informed. Um it's almost it's like super inspiring to see what the Gen Zers do, and I'm just so excited to see what they're going to do next.
I agree with that take. And it's a really interesting thing because um it's just kind of I think that there's still gonna be plenty of people in Gen Z who are kind of still rooted in some really interesting things that definitely need some work, right? But I think every generation has some things that need some work with them. Uh, I think that it's very interesting because some people uh, in Gen Z, I agree with. I agree with that to a 100%. I think that they're very intuitive and stuff. Um, but I find it really like sometimes, man, you just see like the internet really brings out the worst in people.
Can.
Mm.
And
Well, they
again, that
just
just
have
comes
more
down to that's just gonna be
access.
that's gonna be exactly. And them having more access, I think that you're right. Now is the time. Now is the time to get those feelings out, right? I think that, at the same time, while you can be ruthless and be that little shit at times, you have to be very, very careful because,
Mhm.
as we have seen in this society, uh, society and in general, and the internet will not be nice to you. If you
Mm-mm.
decide to be that little shit now, tread with caution, right? Like, not everybody will be very forgiving. I would know, as there is things that, um like, for example, there are people that I know to this day who have been held accountable for, the things that they did when they were, like, I don't know, 14, 15 years old, and the things that they said. They've said some horrible things when they were 14, 15 years old, and, and that's the sort of thing that, if you wanna be that person, tread with caution, right? Like, and get yourself educated now is a better time than ever. It's also a better
Mhm.
time than ever to be that person, but, like, man, you gotta be real careful, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to say I do want to raise a point to this. A
Mhm.
lot with this being Gen Z of people who need to be careful. I also would like to think that it is Gen Z who is holding people accountable
Right.
Right.
for the
Right.
things that they're doing. So, like at the same token, I think we're gonna talk about cancel culture in one of these episodes, but
Oh, for
definitely I
sure.
think there's pros and cons to it, but the in theory, the whole idea of it of holding people accountable is very good, and I feel
Mhm.
like we have to give it credit to Gen Z for people who started that, even though it gets a little bit extreme sometimes.
Yep.
The monetization of what influencers have um and the platform that they use for it like is so much more. I think it's better than it's ever been because we're holding people accountable, and I think because of that we're going to see a very positive change
I can only
with
hope
the way
so,
that
right?
people think, right? So
Mhm.
I mean, because we could look at really old like TV shows and really old like like morning shows or whatever, and just people saying the most like awful shit that if
Mhm.
you wouldn't say it, to your grandma, don't
Right.
say it on TV. You know how to act, everyone knows how to act, everyone's taught the way to behave, yet
Mhm.
we see these people who are influencers or adults making these wild
God awful.
statements,
God
Oh,
and
awful.
yeah.
it's just like I'm glad that we're calling it out now because we're
Mhm.
not gonna have little shitheads later. And that's why I
And
think
that's the
it's
nice
Gen
thing.
Z's in their wake, the generations after. Which, by the way, do y'all know there's a generation after Gen Z now?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
alpha now or shit,
Alpha,
right?
what
Alpha, and
the
then they're going
hell?
beta.
And those
Oh, boy.
people, they have like actual thoughts and feelings now. Like they're like yay tall and they talk. Like
Oh,
it's
god.
crazy.
It's kinda scary.
But that's what I'm saying is in the wake of in the trail of Gen Z, I think that there's gonna be. I hope that there's gonna be just great people afterwards.
Right. And it comes down to, like, now here's the interesting thing. I think that it's gonna just train people to become better people, and
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, and this is just might be the cynic in me saying this sort of thing, but are they gonna be trained to be better people because they have to be better people and that's just the right thing to
Right.
do? Or because the
Or because
big
it's
looming
morally right.
cloud of cancel culture is
Oh,
there?
right. 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 Right.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying. Like there are people who are like, okay, it's morally right to do this sort of thing. That's how I personally live my life, right? It is morally right to be a decent fucking human being and not be a piece of shit, right?
Right.
That's how I live my life. But are there going to be people who are sit there and they're going to repress those feelings and they're not going to really act like that out when there's potential cameras around kind of thing because they know the looming cloud of cancellation is there, whatever is there, right? And that sort of thing is really like, kind of a scary thought to think about in my eyes.
Well,
So okay,
Yes.
hang on. I have a I
But
have
it
a
You're gonna
does
say
rebuttal
it.
to
You're gonna
that.
because
say it. You're gonna say it, Tex. I know
You feel
exactly what
it?
you're gonna say. I
The
feel what
same
you're gonna say.
the same argument can be made for like using your religion as your morality. If you're doing
oh,
good for a
absolutely,
divine reward, if
absolutely,
you're gonna be doing good for a divine reward, is it really good? You know. So I'm like,
Right.
right,
but
right.
here's something my therapist has taught me recently because I have an issue with imposter syndrome where I feel like I'm just a terrible person pretending to be a
Mhm.
good person, which I know is not the
Mhm.
case logically. I've done too much good in the world to be a bad person, but my
Mm-hmm.
depression says otherwise. And she said, even if you're doing the best of things with the worst intentions, you're still giving positive. So
Mm-hmm.
even if you do the best of things, but the shittiest intentions behind them, you're still putting
The only thing
positivity in
you're
the world.
producing is positivity.
Yeah, yeah, that's a
So
really good point.
so
That's a
whether
really
or
good point.
not whether or not religion's a good view of morality, or even cancel culture is creating people's morality, even if that is the case, the fact that we're still holding people accountable, the fact that people are
Mm-hmm.
still we're changing our viewpoints on the world because of the worldview that we have now, if it's an altogether positive, then we're still doing good, we're still doing
Yeah,
God's work in
that's a
that
really good
sense.
point. Yeah, that's a really good point actually.
See, that was the same thing I was thinking is we're still achieving the same goal, whether people are afraid to say things because of this or
Yeah,
not.
at
But
least they're
we're
not
still
saying things, right? Yeah.
eliminating, yeah,
Yeah.
that negativity.
Yeah, that's a good point, everything. It's just an odd ways to settle the means, right? Like it's just a
Yeah.
strange, as much as it's not necessarily a preferred thing, as much as I would like to be like, yeah, I just wish people would just be decent regardless of like there being this giant looming spooky cloud that says like you will literally ruin your life if you decide to be a piece of shit. Hey, at least they're not being a piece of shit, right? I guess that
Right.
is just it's a weird way to justify, I think the ends do still justify the means in this case. I guess that makes sense. Albeit of course there are always times like Lumi said where it just goes too far. And
Of course. Too much of anything
and
is not good.
exactly, exactly. But I do think it is a really good way. Holding people accountable is always very, very good.
Mhm.
I think that the people who think that like cancel culture in general just shouldn't exist, I think that's a little too much, right? Like I think that's when you're just like, okay, like really though? Like I think it is still a good thing in many cases. Especially when we stop people from being able to act because they sit there and they do horrible, horrible things to people um, and
Right.
stuff like that. Like that's always a fantastic way of using it in my eyes.
Right.
Um, like yeah, fuck yeah, get Kevin
Well
Spacey
then,
out of acting. Like yeah,
And
absolutely,
we
like shit like
definitely will
that.
have a whole podcast dedicated to cancel culture
Hell yeah,
and
let's make it
talking about
happen.
that.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a preview.
This is just a
it's just a
preview for
This is
preview.
the
next
trailer.
week's
The
episode.
trailer.
No, but I think this is a good place to kind of call it quits for the
Mm-hmm.
night. What do you
Yeah,
think, Lumi?
Yeah. I think
I agree.
so.
Maybell, you feel good?
Do I?
Yeah. Would do you feel good?
Yeah.
Do you want to lead us in our checkout?
The
I
self
don't know what
checkout.
to
Lead
It's like
us.
a
do.
Walmart. It's like a Walmart, dude. You do the same shit that you did when we came in here, right?
Yeah,
Place your
yeah.
item in the
You.
bagging area.
Unexpected item in bagging area.
Please remove
Please
item.
remove item from bagging area.
Unexpected item
Please,
in bagging area.
please take your
Most
change.
annoying thing ever.
Your receipt will be dispensed
What
below
is
the
that from?
scanner.
Asda?
Yeah.
Is
It's
that
from
what
what?
it's from? Asda?
Asda.
As the crow flies.
Oh.
Asda. I hardly know her.
Face down Asda. That's the way we
That's the
like to
way we
talk.
like to read. Oh.
Oh, my bad. So yeah, Maybell, if you can lead us with the checkout, that's the. Remember at the beginning where we did energy level and comfortability level?
Do we just do that again?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then in my case, it's still the exact same as it was.
That's
An 8
okay.
and an 8.
This dude didn't change at all.
An 8 and an 8. He's happy and he's comfortable. Well, he has high
Okay,
energy.
who's
Surely
next?
trifling.
I'll go next. I'm gonna check out a lot higher than I checked in. Remember, I was low energy and not feeling super well. My headache went away, and you guys always bring a big smile to my face. So I am now, I would say my energy
Aw.
level's like an 8. But now I just
Ooh.
CP's Mimi times, and I'm very very comfortable. Thank you guys for being a part of my Thursday.
Hell yeah. All right, who next? Who next? Who next? Who next?
You
Okay,
are.
me next. Me next. Me next. Me next. So, I would definitely say that while I am loving this time and everything, I am getting tired. It's 3 a.m. in Maevaald time and
Yes, it
Historo
is.
time. And so,
No, purely
I
my
am,
time.
yeah, right. It's only Maevaald's time. But on a serious note, I'm getting a little tired. I think I was at like a 9 when I started. I'm definitely, well, I am enjoying the conversation and everything, and I'm loving the questions. I think I'm now down to like a 7.5.
Okay.
I'm a little tired. I definitely could still be awake for a little longer, but I'm chilling. Um, Comfortability wise, that has not changed. I think I'm at like, I think I said it was like an 8 or some shit, or a 9. I would wager I'm probably about an 8 now. So pretty good, pretty good.
Good stuff.
Feeling good, looking good, all that good jazz.
And then
Damn,
Lumi, you want to
feeling
top us off?
himself. Yeah. I'm in the same boat with you, Tex. I feel tons higher energy. Feeling really good. Not really tired, although I should get some sleep. But something in the back of my head is telling me to get on ARC just for a little bit. So I might do that. I might do that. But yeah, it's been great. I'm so excited that we're being consistent for the most part with this podcast. I laugh because it's like episode 2, but
Episode 2,
this is
consistency is key here. Like,
consistency.
we're so
Um,
consistent.
but the thing is, like, I've been wanting to do this. I had a mini panic attack. When you guys see, the first episode, maybe even this one. Who knows what this one sounds like? Um, I I'm trying really hard with like the whole editing thing and getting really used to the settings of everything, all the audio sounds because it's an audio based show is really intimidating. So
Wait,
I
it
just like
is?
to
What?
say, uh,
You
this
telling
is
me I've been
all
recording my face
audio.
cam this whole time for no reason? What?
Yes,
Oh
Fully
my
this
god, no
entire
way.
thing.
understand.
What? Oh no, I've just been
So
misled.
This isn't for
I'd
OnlyFans?
like to say, no, no, it can be though.
Whoa.
Hell
Next
yeah.
time on Extra, I'm kidding. um,
Next time on Extra Friends.
But I'd just like to say thank you guys for being here. Please bear with us while we get used to content creation because this is something we've wanted to do for a little bit, but also we're doing it for fun. But if you're here, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your patience with us. Thank you for your patience with us learning how to do all this fun stuff. We hope that you guys get a kick just like we do out of making this stuff. Um Thanks for joining us for the Extra Friends. If you want to check in and check out too in the comments, you're more than welcome to. And we will see you guys next Sunday.
Yup, doing it and
Yeah.
doing it and doing it well. Yeah, we're doing it and doing it and doing it well.
Have a good night.
Have a good
Bye.
week.
Guys.
Later.